Cenderze versus Dragonzord, a Zerg versus Terran. Go ahead and hop into it. So this is our first match for the round of 16 of RSL. Here we go, close all of that. And in the top right corner, we have Cenderze playing the pinkish Zerg. In the bottom right corner, we have Dragonzord as the dark blue Terran. This map, I think this is polyploid, so we'll see how that goes. And we're gonna, to make sure that we can get through the games at a reasonable pace and that the people at the very end are going to have the same level of energy throughout, we're gonna probably speed up for the first 2 minutes or so of the game, unless we see something entirely crazy, but it looks like neither player is doing anything too insane to start off. The Overlord is scouting in the wrong direction, but it is the technically correct direction for this map. You always want to send the Overlord to scout where the closest natural base is, see if you can catch an early expansion. And, well, it kind of evens out because Dragonzord will be scouting in the wrong direction. However, this drone looks like it is going to find Dragonzord's base. So we're just going to see how this game goes from here. Cenderze looks like they went hatch first. And, oh my god, they're going 2 hatch before pool, so they are really dedicating to that. While Dragonzord seems to just be playing it. Looks fairly standard. The Marine comes out, and that should be able to shoo the drone away, but not kill it because the drone retreats in a reasonable amount of time. While the SCV, the second scouting SCV, Dragonzord has given up a lot of mining time to get these SCVs out because he really wants to know what his opponent's up to, and he's going to come up here and he's going to scout. He's going to see that there's a hatchery building in the middle of the main, and the spawning pool isn't even done yet, and he is going to go ahead and start his own command center because the aggression of Cenderze is going to be very limited. He's probably going to be able to get his command center and a good sizable marine force up to defend it before the Zerglings begin to hatch. Let's see. There goes the second barracks. So again, things are just looking pretty regular. Again, this is seeming to develop into a pretty standard Terran versus Zerg. And Cenderze is going right into lair, so it looks like they are probably going to go into a fairly fast Beautilus play. There's not too many Zerglings out on the map, only 4 so far. So Cenderze is going to probably just go for a pretty heavy macro play. Dragonzord isn't committing a whole lot to defense. There isn't like a bunker and a bunch of other stuff out here, so he's not really he's not misreading the situation and overly defending from only 4 Zerglings. Alright, an evolution chamber is coming up for Cenderze as the lair finishes. That's an odd placement. I guess he might be going for some early Zergling upgrades. Setting that up. Alright, this is probably going to be... He's going for a Queen's Nest instead, so Cenderze is going to be rushing to Hive Tech off of 2 bases. Now that's interesting. That means that there probably is going to be a pretty solid window that Dragonzord may be able to push up and come and try to take advantage of Cenderze's Yep, he scans the natural, so he doesn't see the tech of Cenderze yet. Oh. Wait, hold on. Where does that scan go? And he scans in the main, so he doesn't see. So this is a pretty high IQ Queen's Nest placement, because Dragonzord just might be thinking he's playing a standard Zerg game, while Cenderze's just saying, you know what? I don't want to play a mid game. We're just gonna skip straight to late game. I don't need 3 or 4 bases for that. I can do it off of 2. There's only 2 sunken colonies here. The 3rd creep colony is on the way, and there's not a lot of Zerglings. There is maybe an opportunity for Dragonzord to push in if he angles it right. Oh, never mind. I say that, but there is now a flood of Zerglings that just popped out to defend. And this force probably is going to have to run back because it can't really do much. If it tries to engage the sunken colonies, the Zerglings now could get a surround, and they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna try to dive onto the natural to try to force the pullback from Dragonzord. Up here they come. 2 fire bats mixed in should. Oh, they almost help deal with the Zerglings, but the fire bats are not the magical Zergling repellent that we wish they could be. Okay, some decent SCV glitches forced the Zerglings to not get as much surface area as they could, and I think he got out of that losing only a small force of units and maybe 2 or 3 SCVs. He's still 6 workers above Cenderze, who is getting into hive tech now and grabbing a 2nd evolution chamber. He's going double Evo and then another hatchery. So usually when you get the hive tech, you're rushing to defilers, or I guess he could be rushing to ultralisks, and the double Evo chambers really quickly. It could help. Because usually if you're getting defilers, you will probably want lurkers to go with it. Oh, and there's the ultralisk cavern. So it's going to be some heavy ultralisk play. The adrenal glands upgrade is coming. So Cenderze is going to be playing a bit of a heavy Zergling ultralisk. But on 2 bases, like, you really don't want to be especially in just any matchup where you're the Zerg. You don't want to be even on bases as your opponent. Again, Dragonzord's going to try to push out, but then there's a Zergling counterattack that's going to be able to run in here and get some serious damage and force this small strike force to run back before too much damage is done. Yeah, the Zerglings are just going to wreak havoc. The entire army is going to have to recall, and the species try to glitch back. 1 goes down, so not a whole lot of damage was done, but that's not really the important part. The important part is that this army didn't get up here before the ultralisks were done, because this it's a pretty large force of bio, relatively speaking. They could probably work through 3 sunken colonies, but now there's going to be 4 plus a 5th one if they need it. We'll see where this game goes. Dragonzord's finally saying, you know what, fine, I'm sick of these Zergling run-bys, I'll put up a bunker. I'll invest the 100 minerals into this. Alright. Cenderze's Ultralisk Cavern is up, and his Ultralisk upgrade is halfway done, but there are no Ultralisks on the way yet. There's a huge gas bank. So Cenderze does have, at least for the moment, the resources to produce a decent sized amount of Ultralisks. But they're kind of just focusing on getting a bunch of Zerglings out. Oh, a drone's running out to take a sort of hidden 3rd base. It looks like they're either probably going to go to the main or the natural, and it looks like they're going to the main. However, Dragonzord, saw right, has a dropship on the way, which is going to make this faraway main base a lot less defendable than it could be, and with no lurkers to be able to sit on the ramp or just even like sit near the base, it's going to be very vulnerable. However, I don't think Dragonzord even knows that it is a thing. I think he only scouted up there with an SCV earlier. So if he doesn't get out on the map soon, okay, there goes the load in on the dropship. 8 Marines. We're going to see where that dropship decides to fly. It could maybe try to drop into the natural here to take out some drones, or it might loop around the corner of the map to drop into the main. Looks like he knows that Ultralisk tech has sort of come, and siege tanks are kind of a solution to that. They do their full damage against Ultralisks. Oh, but Zergling's coming for a flank, take out the first siege tank. Do they get the second? Just barely. The siege tank lives. Okay, then the dropship flies straight diagonally. So it looks like they're going to catch this hatchery just as it finishes. Yeah. I don't know what this guy's doing. But Cenderze's going to have to send a whole lot of Zerglings over. The question is, are they going to be able to get it in time? I think it looks like they'll be able to... Yeah, I don't know about the pickup there. I think if they had just... If Dragonzord had just let the Marines stand still and fight the Zerglings, they might have come out on top and they would have been able to finish off the hatchery. Now Cenderze's going to be able to get their third. Once that Nidus Canal finishes, it's going to be very hard to kill that third, especially with now Ultralisk production is fully on the way. There's, looks like 5 Ultralisks on the map now. Yeah, they will chew through bio so easily. Dragonzord has some science vessels, so the Irradiate should help in dealing with those Ultralisks. But man, that is a lot of Ultralisks. That is... I guess when usually you say that... Usually the idea is that Zerg needs like 4 gas, 4 extractors to be able to produce Ultralisks. But I guess if you're skipping Defilers, skipping Lurkers, only making a couple Scourge, you can just probably make Ultralisks off of 2 bases. I mean, Cenderze's bank is still fairly large, so they have a lot of back income, and man, these Ultralisks are just tearing through everything. Yeah, they already are at 4-1, so the Marines are doing almost no damage, and the Marines, they're only at 1-1. So yeah, you can see just how, like, look at all the Marines focus firing down the one Ultralisk, and it still doesn't die. It lives just long enough for all of its buddies to get up. And they probably don't have enough army to be able to batter down these bunkers and get into the main, but Cenderze's looking in a very good spot. Just going pure Zergling Ultralisk. I feel maybe in this situation you build another factory and start building vultures for spider mines, because this is composition seems very weak to that. It doesn't help that a lot of those early science vessels got picked off by Scourge, so Dragonzord isn't really able to poke these vessels out and irradiate as much as they could be. Alright, now Cenderze's going for the Defiler Mound and getting this 3rd base up. The gas is now fully expanded, and they're getting a 4th base in the natural expansion of their 3rd. Some Overlords bravely give their life to scout the Terran base to see what exactly they're doing. And it is a perfect distraction from for the Ultralisks to come in and do some serious damage, shave off a lot of bio forces, but yeah, the SimCity of these bunkers make it really hard for them to get any like real connections on the bulk of the force that was behind the bunkers. Cenderze, though, I mean, they can just keep macroing up these Ultralisks. I mean, they have so much income. Dragonzord also has a lot of income, and it looks like they're on only 7 barracks, though. I think the healthy amount Hello, Escalade. Hi. I think the healthy amount of barracks that Terran usually wants to be on is 8. But they might need a third base for that. And Cenderze kind of just is able to throw Ultralisks. I mean, like I said, the Ultralisks, they aren't killing Dragonzord, but Dragonzord, they are continually killing a lot of Marines and forcing Dragonzord to stay in their base. Ooh, a drop in the top left. There's nothing here to defend, so this could be very dangerous. However, I don't know, there's a couple Zerglings near the Nidus Canal, but most of the Ultralisks are out on the map. So Dragonzord's able to focus fire it down, and then he's going to get a lot of these drones, it looks like. He's getting most of these drones, it looks like. A lot of Zerglings, pretty much everything is sent over to defend the space, but yeah, every drone falls and he's not, that's about almost 13 to 16 drones. And it looks like he is focus firing down the hatchery now, and he is going to get both hatcheries. The Scourge are probably going to chase after the dropship. Huh. Well, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Okay, so Dragonzord is finally getting their mineral-only base up, which is going to be really helpful. At this point, they're kind of both, or Dragonzord kind of has a lot banked up, so this is more of a positional advantage. Ultras one-shot Marines. I don't, actually, they might actually. They have 42 effective health. No, they do not one-shot Marines, even though it feels like it. Ultralisks at max upgrade, I think, do 29 damage, so they do two-shot Marines. I think regardless of upgrades, once you get... Yeah, I think once you get 2 upgrades on the Ultralisks, they'll one-shot the Marines regardless. Maybe even just the 1 upgrade. Oh, man. Yeah, so that's going to be... This is actually huge. That is so many Marines just dying. You can see he's just running a lot of these medics away. I mean, the reinforcements should be able to clear this, but he's lost a lot of forces, which has just kind of been the what's happened all game. Voice quiet as fuck. Oh man, I thought I'd fix this. Okay, let me see. Bump it up a little bit to see if hopefully it works. Is it quiet compared to the game audio? 'Cause if so, I can turn the game audio down. We're going to follow this science vessel for a second. Alright. Let's just move that, slide that down a bit, and now it should hopefully be a bit better balanced. Oh, attempted SCV drop. Doesn't look like they're going to get much done. But, okay, there's 7 more Marines that should be able to put on some kind of pressure in the main base. There's a couple Zerglings here to take care of it, but need a lot more than Zerglings. 3 Defilers, so I mean, if he just moves these Marines over, he might be able to just snipe some of these Defilers down. Looks like he might get that one before the reinforcements come. Yeah, so he gets 1 Defiler, which is pretty decent. Is it the first series? Yeah, this is the first game of the first series of our round of 16. Yeah. And it's really been Cenderze's game so far. They've been even on supply versus Terran for a pretty long while. They've had a fairly large bank of both gas and minerals. They've been able to just keep producing Ultralisks. And Dragonzord doesn't really... look at these guys. Oh my god, the Scourge even take out 2 science vessels that are just sitting here. Yeah, This attack is taking them completely unaware. And the Ultralisks do die, but they kill so many Marines. Some more Scourge coming. Luckily, the Marines should kill them before they can pick off even more Science Vessels. I mean, this is a pretty scary push out from Dragonzord. I don't really see where Cenderze's army is. There's 3 Ultralisks all the way across the map. Dragonzord might be able to push in and get some serious damage done. But with the Defilers coming here, yeah, Dark Swarm goes down. Even though there's no lurkers, Dark Swarm is still extremely powerful. Kind of forces the Terran to not be able to attack from this angle. And it gives the Ultralisk and Zerglings a bit of cover as they run to come and slaughter the Terran force. Dragonzord seems to sort of have a decision paralysis here. Is like, deciding if he goes for this base or the natural. He decides to go for the 12 o'clock. Man, the medics are kind of out of position, so the Ultralisk gets a couple of Marines that it probably shouldn't have been able to. And it looks like this 12 o'clock base should... What happened to the Marines? Oh, they might have glitched out on the map and ran off or something? I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, and that looks like that weird delayed attack bought the Ultralisks and Zerglings just enough time to reinforce, and a bunch of Irradiates go down on the Ultras. But Dragonzord's bank is finally getting pretty low, and they don't really have the minerals back at home to make up for it. Like, a couple more attacks like that, and they're going to be pretty spent on their production. They only have the 1 mineral-only base, while Cenderze has 3 mining bases. Technically 2, because this one isn't saturated, but here comes an attack wave of another Zergling and Ultralisk push. And there just isn't really the Marine force here to take care of it. I mean, that is a lot of Zerg. Dragonzord GG's leaves the game, so we are now up 1-0 for Cenderze. Go ahead and set up our game 2. Of Cenderze versus Dragonzord for the RSL 16. We'll just go ahead and hop right into it. I'm feeling good. So they are moving from Polypoid to Eclipse to a 2-player map. So it's possible that there can be some shenanigans, though. Based on the last game, it looks like both players just wanted to play kind of standard, even though Cenderze kind of like skipped 3 different stages of the game to just go straight to Ultralisks, and it paid off because Dragonzord never really the Zergling run-bys just kept forcing Dragonzord to run back to their base because they had they didn't have a sizable enough defending force. He probably could have forced a base trade scenario that he probably would have won because Terran buildings can fly, but it's really hard to math that out when you're actually in game. And then again, it also just might not have worked because Cenderze did have, I think, 3 Sunkens by the time Dragonzord was really able to threaten them. Okay, barracks on the low ground, so might be setting up to build just straight up build a wall in this area, so go for an early expansion to be able to defend it, which makes a lot of sense considering that they lost a lot of the opportunities that they could have had because their natural was so wide open. Cenderze looks like they're going to be going for about the same kind of play they went last game, where they're going for an early hatchery. We'll see if they go into hatch then spawning pool or 2 hatch into spawning pool. what kind of variations they come up with. Alright, 2 SCVs sent out on the map immediately. Dragons are gonna go for something cheesy. Let's see if this Marine follows them. Yeah, the Marine follows right behind, so it looks like Dragonzord is gonna maybe try to go for a bunker rush. Cenderze is just going hatchery, then spawning pool, so Dragonzord may have a bit of a harder time pulling this rush off than if he were to do it in game 1. SCV tries to block the drone from getting in and seeing that there isn't anything up in the main, but the bunker's being built, which I think is actually just outside of Cenderze's vision. So that should get built just in time, and the Marines will be able to just immediately hop in there. Yep, and then there's the second bunker to start the leapfrog over. We just keep on pouring in. A third SCV is coming along. Cenderze, they canceled the hatchery. That's super smart because it's probably going to die anyways. And he just says, you know, I'll just build this in my main. It doesn't matter if I build my third hatchery or my second hatchery up here. It's fine. 4 Zerglings are on the way now. Let's see how Dragonzord adapts his play to sort of deal with this. Now this is going to be really important. These first 4 Zerglings are going to have to, we're going to see if they're going to be able to take out the Marines, and they almost get the full surround, but the Marines quickly run back. But now they're going to be able to kill the SCVs because they aren't being covered, but I don't know, bunkers build. Sometimes they build very fast, sometimes they build very slow, and in this case it looks like those 2 Zerglings are going to die and Dragonzord's going to get into the main. Now it's going to be really hard for Cenderze to actually take this out. If they get the SCV though, he's going to have he won't be able to leapfrog anymore, but the SCV barely lives. This hatchery might have to get cancelled. SCV loads. Yeah, the SCV loads into the bunker for safekeeping. And now he's just building another hatchery going straight to lair, so he might be seeing, oh, yep, Zerglings are running straight out, gonna try to cross the map. Marines that were coming out are now defending. There's a pretty decent supply depot barracks wall. He's getting creep colonies. That's really smart because Sunkens do outrange bunkers, and I don't even know if Dragonzord sees that. Oh, he does see them coming, but he might just saying, you know what, I just want to get this hatchery. But he can't control the attack here. Okay, here comes the Sunken. Sunkens do so much damage. The SCV is going to try to run, start repairing, so he should get the hatchery. Oh no. Oh my. That's really bad for Dragonzord, because he dedicated a lot to this and he only kind of slowed Cenderze down. Like, he kept him off of his natural base, but Dragonzord doesn't have a base of his own. He's going to take it right now to really try and solidify his lead, so that's pretty smart. He has 1 Marine in a bunker, preventing that that drone from coming down and just starting a hatchery, though. Large force of Zerglings should be able to tear that open pretty easily. He's going to retreat to the second bunker. Oh man. And then here comes 4 more Marines who will be able to keep that bunker alive. Pretty good micro there from Dragonzord. But now here come the spire's about halfway done. So let's see. Yeah, Dragonzord doesn't really have. Oh wait, is that the engineering bay? That's the academy. Oh no. So that means that when these Mutalisks come out, it might be too late for Dragonzord to get his missile turrets up in time. That is a large conga line of Marines that I don't think he needed to pull back. He probably could have just kept up. How many? Yeah, he pulled every Marine out of the bunker. I think leaving 4 Marines here would have been pretty smart. Is he going to take a Oh, he's checking for Cenderze's hidden expansion because he's being like, okay, I denied your natural, so you probably hit a base somewhere, or you went and took the third. Oh, the Zerglings get in. That's always terrible to see. The Marines, they are just watching the SCVs die, and they run. Sometimes StarCraft be like that. Yeah, Cenderze's in like 3 hatch, 1 base. They have the gas for Mutalisks, but they don't have the minerals because they built a lot of Zerglings. Yeah, if Dragonzord can use this downtime to get their engineering bay and throw up a couple of turrets, they're in a pretty great position, but the Zerglings get in again. And that's a lot more Zerglings than earlier. They're going to be able to wreak havoc on the SCV line. 1 goes down, 2. Marines try to come up, but they die. Oh, man. Really great Zergling micro here from Cenderze. A lot of SCVs. It looks like he got 5 SCVs from this run by. That's a pretty good deal. So you're just trying to like, especially if you know your opponent has like a base up on you, you're just trying to get as much economic damage as possible so you can catch up. All right, the very first Mutalisk, 2 Mutalisks now being built. And Dragonzord still doesn't have the defense for it. Is this going to be an engineering bay, or is it... Nope, it's going to be a scout in the top right of your natural SCV. Alright, 2 Firebats are out, so now the Zerglings are a little bit less effective. He's getting Marine range, getting some medics, so he can kind of defend against the Mutalisk, but it's really going to come down to how he controls these Marines and how Cenderze angles the Mutalisks coming in to get damage. Cenderze's finally getting their natural base, going up to 4 hatches. And let's see, we have the first 2 Mutalisks are kind of poised on the edge of Dragonzord's main. 2 more coming. Okay, I think once you get to about 4-ish Mutalisks, that's when you want to start harassing. You don't want to fly in when you only have 2, because you won't get too much damage done, and it telegraphs to your opponents like, oh wait, yeah, I forgot to build an engineering bay. My god, SCVs are bulky. Okay, so the first... Oh, he's going for the comset station. That's an interesting choice, although it might have been a misclick. He's trying to target down a specific SCV and then he clicks on the comset station, but the Marines run up. I think he only got 1 SCV during that whole attack. It's just tearing things, I guess. Your SCVs take forever to die. It's only 5 Mutalisks. Yep. Natural hatchery is just about to finish, and Dragonzord is now getting their like missile turrets up. Although there aren't any in the main yet, so medic gets picked off, and it looks like they're gonna be able to get a couple more SCVs. 1 goes down. Yeah, now that huge SCV lead that Dragonzord had is pretty steadily decreased. They're just about even. 21 drones can do a lot of work, although Cenderze still only just has 1 base saturation. Finally, the Marines get up, and now the Mutalisks are in a really tight position because the sort of Marine arc's really good, which is a lot of Mutalisks they're gonna have to run. But now they're just kind of trapped down here. They can even out right here, but wait, is he out? Is there only 1 Mutalisk left? Oh man, that's rough. He had a lot of SCV kills, but he also lost most of his Mutalisks, so it's gonna be really hard for him to like try to commit to that kind of pressure anymore. Yeah, sometimes it's a problem in lower leagues where you want to like do cool stuff with your units because the pros do cool stuff, and it's like, well, if you don't micro, sometimes it's better. Because you try to do like fancy tricks with your Mutalisks, or like you're like, oh man, I'm gonna like split my Marines medics, or you're like, oh, I'm gonna like get a cool arc with my zealots, and you just end up kind of running them around and they don't do much. This micro is actually hard. That is a lot of sunken colonies, so only one was up. He's gonna target them down. And the Mutalisks are here to add in some additional chip damage, and yeah, all the other sunken colonies are gonna finish, and while this attack was super scary, he forced Cenderze to build 5 sunken colonies. It doesn't actually break through. Yeah. If Cenderze had only gone for like 3 sunken colonies, that actually might have been enough to kill him there. Alright, another little Mutaflock heading around the map. Got 4 lurkers on the way. So Cenderze has teched up. And they're finally getting their second gas. I don't know how they have this much gas as a 1 base, both in-game FX and voice. Oh man, that's rough. Let me see. I'll see if I can what I can do to fix it after this game, and then if it works without completely nuking the audio quality, because that is a problem sometimes. Oh man, 2 more Mutalisks got lost in a dive. Yeah, the turrets are now up and the Mutalisks kind of can't get a whole lot done. They might be able to camp over the barracks since there's nothing here, but that's very risky since most of Dragonzord's Marines are kind of at home still. Okay, 2 lurkers going out to see is there anything at the 3rd base stopping this. Okay, they're setting up preemptively to defend. So Cenderze is probably going to expand here pretty soon. Dragonzord is, they're also teching up. They're getting some siege tanks to help supplement their bio army, which can sometimes be kind of a mistake, because if your siege tank hits a Zergling and the Zergling is attacking into a group of Marines, you do a lot of damage to your own units. But against, especially lurkers, it's a lot safer and easier to just have a siege tank hit it. Yeah, SCV goes the scout, Cenderze's 3rd. Lurkers take it out, but that kind of telegraphs that there definitely is a 3rd base there. Okay, and there's the double evolution chamber and Queen's Nest, so Cenderze might just be going into the same type of strategy they went last game. Is that a hold position lurker? It wasn't firing. That's pretty sneaky. But yeah, double Evo chamber and then getting the Queen's Nest. Probably see the hive here pretty soon, since it looks like the Queen's Nest finished somewhere. Right there. Yep. We're going to see if Cenderze goes into Defiler Lurker or Ultra Ling. Dragonzord is starting science vessel production, which will give them sort of what they need to be able to push out onto the map and start pressuring the Zerg more. It's especially needed once Zerg starts getting into Ultralisks and Defilers, because you really can't risk your army engaging the Zerg army. I have the high-powered units, and here's a drop. Unfortunately, it's going to be seen by a lot of Zerglings. So Cenderze should know it's coming, though sometimes it's hard. Yep, there's the Scourge setting up for the dropship to come by, so this should probably just get nuked. Are those 2 hatcheries? So this is hatch 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I stand corrected. That's hatch 7 and 8. Oh, and the dropship is angled just perfectly that the Marines will be able to drop into the main. Ooh, and they even catch the Scourge as they're coming out. They scare the drones away. I think they only got a couple drone kills. Oh my, that hero dropship picked the Marine up just in time, and they're going to go drop into the main. That's causing havoc. Cenderze's going to have a lot of issues. They're going to have to pull a lot of forces out, pull some more. Let's see if the Marines can get the Scourge. Oh, one Scourge gets through, but the dropship is still alive. Oh, and they're going to get some angle right across from the spawning pool, creating a choke for the Zerglings. This drop is doing huge damage, but the Marines run after the drones. That probably is a bit of a misplay, because if you stick them back here, they can get the spawning pool, force them to rebuild it, maybe even catch the hive. Oh my gosh. This dropship play is doing insane. Like, Cenderze saw it, they set the Scourge up for it, and Dragonzord was able to just wiggle on through, hit the third base, and then keep flying towards the natural. But it does get cleaned up, and I don't think it did. The most damage it did was keeping, like, making Cenderze panic a little bit. Had a medic with the drop? Yeah, I think a medic would have done insanely well. Dragonzord has been dropping with 8 Marines. I think if you did 7 Marines and a medic, or 6 Marines and a medic, they'd be doing way better. Oh, he's dropping right into range of the Sunkens. You probably need to angle a bit further down. But, oh, and the Lurkers even catch the last couple of Marines, unfortunately, and the Scourge gently flies into the dropship and explodes. Ooh, a force kind of overextends a little bit and has to fight some Zerglings, but it looks like Dragonzord is going to be able to angle themselves into holding this little center area. Fortunately sets them up so that Cenderze kind of just has a built-in flank from their third. So keeping these siege tanks alive is going to be fairly difficult, if not impossible. Alright, I guess we're just going to see both the Ultralisk Cavern and the Defiler Den are online right now. So Cenderze has a lot of options to deal with this push. They might even just building a single Defiler, getting Dark Swarm, and moving their Lurkers up. But it looks like they're just going to try and flood in with Wings and Ultralisks. Get one siege tank, and the Ultralisk is going to start clearing these Marines. Zerglings get the siege tank. Irradiate goes down, so they should be able to clear this Ultralisk. But now there's no siege tanks here, so the push capability of this... Well, this is a medic Marine force at the currently. This isn't medic Marine. This isn't Marine medic, it's medic Marine. Looks like Dragonzord might just need to retreat, but he's going to be reinforcing with another pack of Marines and a siege tank. The Lurkers are going to move up. There's a Defiler, and there's the Dark Swarm, so it's going to be really hard. If, again, basically impossible. Dragonzord stopped making S. Oh, he's a... yeah. He's really rough as a siege tank, as a science vessel. It does have a radiate energy, so he should be able to get this Defiler picked off. But he just backs off to the high ground to be able to, at least maintain some sort of map control. Dragonzord's getting their own third base up, and they're finally restarting SCV production, but they've been behind for a good long while. Yeah, this looks like he should be able to inch the siege tanks up a little bit. He has a lot of science vessels, but he doesn't want to fly them too far forward. Cenderze also has a few Scourge waiting for him. Oh, here comes a Zergling flake, but there isn't really... Oh, they might just run straight into the third, and there's only one Marine. The single Marine, the John Rambo of Marines. He's gonna fend off these Zerglings. Well, he tried. Yeah, this is an insane play. A lot of these forces that were supposed to be... Oh, man. There's a lot of dead SCVs, and the forces that were supposed to go and reinforce are going to have to take a detour. Mouse is completely messing up the camera, but... Luckily, the base doesn't get straight up destroyed, so he can kind of start reinforcing the... or bringing back the SCVs, or the few that lived. But that was his natural's completely mined out. He has a lot of idle SCVs in the main. And now Cenderze's pushing forward, gets a science vessel, but it looks like the Irradiates should keep Cenderze backed up into their choke point. Another Zergling run by, but this time it's going to be caught by Dragonzord's army and his sort of defensive force. He's even putting up a bunker, which feels pretty good. To keep this base safe. And Cenderze's just going to keep trying to do a run by, but I don't think this like small trickle of units is going to do much because Dragonzord has adapted really well to that. He's like, okay, you did one run by? Nah. Okay, they come back in. Hope a lot of more Zerglings get picked off. Have to expand out a little bit. Okay, so they should be able to get this tank at least. It's caught unsieged. And that tank as well. A couple flanking Zerglings are going to get caught. Another Ultralist just kind of flies out. Ooh, it distracts the Marines enough so that the Scourge don't get any science vessels. These Marines, I don't know what training course? Oh, and 2 Irradiates go down on the Defilers. They might be able to get 1 Dark Swarm out. But there's no lurkers to kind of come in and push the army back. In fact, I don't think Cenderze has any lurkers left. They're going pure Ultralisk at this point, which doesn't seem to be helping them all that much because they need to be defensive here. Oh, well, that's a hero siege tank. Comes a lot of Zerglings to help fight through, and okay, they don't do a whole lot. Here comes the lurkers again. The 1 HP siege tank, it should finally get taken out, but that lurker's gonna slowly die. The Scourge. What did I miss? Let's step away for a second. Well, looks like Dragonzord is going to push out then. Oh, even erasers. Gosh, what a silly mechanic that is. Yeah. Cenderze is practicing their fantasy GG timing, so it's all fine. You know, sometimes you want to play the game out, play to your outs, wait to see until the very end. I'm setting up a hidden base, but Dragonzord is now, I think they're just scanning all over the map. They're being like, you haven't GG'd yet, where's the hidden base? I know, like, Sometimes when you get into this position in the game and you're destroying their main, and it's like, okay, you aren't GGing. Where's your 15 hidden bases? Obviously, there's a reason for this, and I think Cenderze is just like, maybe they're saying, you know what, I'm gonna take this time, I'm gonna think about like what I'm gonna be doing in Game 3, because they might be reevaluating their playstyle. They said, you know what, Game 1, I went really fast Ultralisks, and I won that, like, it was pretty, like, it wasn't nearly as, like, close as some of the, as the game could have been. Like, he skipped straight to Ultralisks, and didn't go well. And then Cenderze gives out the GG. They've reevaluated their plan. They get hit with the GG back. So they fully reevaluated their plan, and they're going to go into Game 3 with a completely different strategy. I'm going to make... So that's why Game 3 is going to be a 4-pool. I'm like 90% sure. Drop really did a lot too. Just need to get Tharp Swarms down. Yeah. I think they skipped, like, again, Cenderze did the in Game 1 too, where they were just like, you know, I just want to go straight into this late game tech. They were only on 2 bases in Game 2, but they skipped Lurkers, they skipped Defilers for a really long time, so it was kind of doable. And in this game they were like, okay, I'm only on 2.5-ish bases because their natural was kind of delayed for a really long time, and they said, I'm going to skip. Well, they didn't say I'm going to skip. They said, you know what, this game, I'm going to get the Lurkers, I'm going to get the Ultralisks, and I'm going to get the Defilers, and you just, there wasn't the infrastructure for that. And then the Dark Swarms didn't hit as well as they needed to there. So we're going to hop into Game 3, and at least this is what was labeled Game 3 uploaded. I'm kind of unsure if this actually is the Game 3. Well. So that was a really interesting game, I think. There's a lot going on here. And honestly, it just... Was this the mind games? Maybe. Again, this, I'm fairly certain. It was a while since I downloaded these replays, so I might have hit it, mis-downloaded something. But I'm at least 40% sure that this was the submitted Game 3 of this match. At least that is what it was labeled. Let's get the replay one more time. Damn. Excellent play. Maybe Cenderze hit him with the lag switch strats and forced them to leave. We'll never know. Oh wait, no, I was supposed to check my audio. Okay, hold on. Where's my options on this computer? Or was it a showboating move? It might have been. It also might have been maybe just misinput. Give a free game and still win. It's possible, but I wouldn't do that when I'm up only when it's 1-1 tied. That's the kind of move you pull when it's when you're like 2-0 and you're fairly certain you're gonna win. Alright, let me check my settings here real quick. I'm gonna increase my input volume on my mic a little bit. Okay. How's that sound for the mic? Oh man, it looks like there's a lot of static going through now though. Better. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's crank that down a little bit. Yeah, a lot more static. Okay, see, that's why it's like, yeah, when I increase the volume, I don't have, listen, guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't have a really good microphone. So, like, if I increase the volume on it, it's like, gets insanely staticky. So I'm just going to, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. I'm going to put it up just a little bit. And then, also increase the in-game volume. Just a little bit. And it's like, I don't... like, when they said you are quiet, you are, but it's not like you are unclear or I cannot understand. Okay. Yeah, it's... Then I'm gonna just say what I did for the other cast, is to please understand I have a really low quality mic, so if I turn my input volume up, it gets really bad. Yeah, compared to all other streams, yeah. If I had a better mic, I absolutely would increase my input volume and it'd probably be fine, but just please remember to turn just please turn your volume up, and remember to turn it down when when you go to a different stream so your eardrums don't blow out. And then we can increase the game audio too if that's too quiet, and then hopefully that balance gets right. Okay, well, according to OBS, it looks okay. So, if this sounds alright, then I think we're good. It looks like the ambient static isn't too high, so... Okay. We'll run with this. Alright, thanks. With that, we're gonna hop into Game 4 of Cenderze versus Dragonzord, after Dragonzord pulls the biggest mind game shenanigans and just leaves in Game 3. Setting Cenderze up. I mean, honestly, right? If you're playing a best of 5 and your opponent just leaves in Game 3, how do you come back from that mentally? Now we're on Optimizer. So Cenderze's 2-base Zerg strategy may pay off because they can temporarily get a third gas. Even though it only has 1,000 Vespene, it could help them in their transition from 2-ish bases to 3+. Dragonzord, I don't know what's going on in their head. They're on some next level mind game strats right now. Oh, yeah, I forgot we're going to speed up the early game unless something interesting happens, because again, we want to make sure everybody... Okay, never mind. Nope. Okay, I was about to say, is the SCV going to the middle of the map? And he's not. He's doing something similar to what he did in Game 1. He found it pretty successful, or Game 2, because in Game 1, never mind, he's going two racks. Okay. He's going 2 racks before Supply Depot. Dragonzord, he's the disconnect into cheese strats, and Cenderze is going hatch first, as they've done every game, so this might actually be pretty deadly. We're going to see if they go for the spawning pool, or they're going to go 3 hatch. Nope, it's going to be hatch pool. Hatch, pool, and gas. Yep, the Zergling scouts horizontal and the SCV scouts horizontal. So the drone is going to see 2 racks, and Cenderze is going to be very sad about this because their spawning pool is now very delayed, and yeah, Dragonzord can just probably Dragonzord is going to scout the spawning pool not being finished, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna feel good. Oh, all the drones get pulled. It's about what you need, because if Dragonzord starts building up the bunker, well, actually, if he's able to catch the Marine and the SCV this attack is going to be really hampered. Oh, excellent running shots by Cenderze, by the way. They... Oh, no. Oh, that's a lot of almost dead Marines. Oh, I almost got the running shot on the last one. That is... Fortunately, almost dead Marines can still shoot. Oh, man. Cenderze was one more drone shot away from completely shutting down this rush. But now the drones are running back to the main. And... Okay, the Zerglings are out, though. So, oh, but Dragonzord has arranged it so that his weakened Marines are kind of behind the healthy ones, kind of not. And Bunker... Oh. The hero Zergling takes 2 bites out. But, yeah, no, now there's 4 healthy Marines and only 1 damaged one. They're going to... And the hatch finished, so it's not like he's going to be able to cancel it and do what he did in game 2. In fact, all these Zerglings are going to pop here. 3 of them are going to get, 4 of them are going to get picked off as they hatch. Yeah. This is rough. Yeah, okay. He's kind of being like, okay, my kind of only option is to maybe get some Zerglings out and do some counter damage, but the barracks weren't built in the middle of the map. They were built at his base. So he can just reinforce. He'll get the expansion for free, or essentially for free. 6 Zerglings are going to pop out, and I think they might just... They almost immediately die. They do barely get away. The hatchery falls. Those 2 Zerglings get killed. Some more Zerglings fall before. Try to maybe fight the bunker. This is rough. Okay, he's going straight into lair, so he's probably going to go to 1 base Mutalisk. He couldn't cancel the hatch because the hatchery was already finished. Actually, no, he probably should have canceled the hatch when he scouted the double barracks, yeah. By the time... However, unfortunately, the drone pull almost killed all the Marines and completely shut down the initial wave of the attack. And so Cenderze probably thought he was safe and just brought his drones back and let the hatchery finish. And now that is that's nearly a full control group of Marines in the main base. He's trying to get lurkers. The sunken colonies are going to be extremely late. Drones are going to die, and Dragonzord is going to take it to 2-2. Well, I guess the disconnect strats work. GG's. He got inside. He also, even just outside of disconnect strats, I mean, it's a pretty smart variation to basically go, hold on, my opponent's gone hatch first every game. Why don't I just go double racks and kill him? It works. Or it worked, I guess. Cenderze almost played that insanely well. The drones almost killed the first wave of Marines, and I feel like that would have shut the whole thing down, as if he killed the first wave of Marines, brought the drones back, built a sunken colony just to be safe. That was game 4. We're going to hop right into game 5 on our final map of our final game of our first match. Cenderze has switched from the pink Zerg to the gray Zerg. They're out for revenge. This is revenge colors. They are on the bottom left of Neo Sylphid. And on the very top, we have Dragonzord in the dark blue. Which, if I remember correctly, this is the worst spawn for Terran, so I'm pretty sure Dragonzord's chances have gotten significantly lower. But see what kind of game he wants to play here. Because he got a pretty easy win with the double racks. But we're going to see if he wants to go in and get the same kind of win, or if he thinks that Cenderze's going to adapt to it. first barracks comes down before supply depot. So, oh, but he's building more SCVs. So we're gonna see if he goes double racks again. And the Overlord is scouting in the sort of wrong direction, so. Nope, it is just a barracks supply depot. Dragonzord is just going for a more akin to their game 2 plan. So, but he's scared Cenderze. Cenderze's going for the spawning pool first and even sending the drone out to scout. Oh man. Oh, he extractor tricked a drone out, but yeah, I think he's building the spawning pool to try to defend for a push that isn't going to come. Question is Dragonzord going to take a quicker expansion to take advantage of that? Or is he going to just try and do like a 1 barracks push? Oh, 6 Zerglings coming out. Oh, Cenderze is the wanting to get aggressive this game. Unfortunately, like, Dragonzord has a good wall. Like I said, the Marines, they can just kind of come up, sit behind the barracks, and it's going to be really hard for the Zerglings to actually get the surface area they need. And he's going to run out to scare away the drone. Zerglings are going to pick off the SCV, so Dragonzord is going to know it's coming, and he pulls the Marines behind the barracks. So the Zerglings are going to have to kind of swedge their way into here, I think. That's, pop out on the wrong side, though? True. But he should have at least 3 Marines ready. Oh, the SCV wall prevents the Marine from rallying correctly. And is Cenderze going to be able to abuse this just in time? No, he throws up another supply depot and completely locks the Zerglings out of the base. They'll get 1 Marine, who unfortunately did come out on the wrong side, as predicted. Might even get the SCV who's with him. Yep. So Zerglings have gotten 2 SCVs and a Marine, which isn't too bad, but oh, yeah, Cenderze is... Oh. I did not know that that was passable for Zerglings. I don't think Cenderze did either. Now the Zerglings are in the main. Dragonzord has to pull their SCVs to help fight them, so they should be able to get rid of them without too much damage done, only losing a couple Marines, but a lot of lost mining time. Cenderze's still making a lot of Zerglings. But then the bunker's gonna go up, and yeah. Dragonzord will pretty much not have to worry about Zerglings coming into their base for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Cenderze's teching up. They're getting their lair on the way. And we should probably see maybe Mutalisks. This is a pretty good attack point for Mutalisks. The barracks list to allow more open passage for the bio once they start moving out. And the economies are kind of normalizing. They're sort of evenish on workers. A couple of drones are about to pop. Cenderze's slightly behind, but it's a Zerg economy. Oh, an SCV gets in the scout, sees there isn't a Hydra Den on the way, so he probably isn't worried about like a fast lurker attack. The SCV is out for blood. He almost gets the drone. He's 2 shots away. And we'll see where the Spire's gonna go down. Yep. Ooh, that's a very dangerous place for the Spire. A Marine push that is even slightly aggressive, like, might just kill that Spire. And that would be very bad. An Overlord sneaks in to get a scout on what Dragonzord is doing. Dragonzord's just getting an academy. However, I guess if Dragonzord tries to scan, he'll scan the main, not see anything. There's that Evolution Chamber Queen's Nest, so... Oh, Cenderze looks like they're going for the same kind of strategy they went for in Game 2, which is go into those like light Mutalisk pressure, but then kickstart your late game as fast as possible. They probably need at least a third base to make that transition easier, which they do not have. Yep, engineering base should be up in time to help defend from the Mutalisks. Oh, and the Overlord that was scouting gets killed off, and there's a slight supply block for a second. There's the Hive. And Zerg Carapace, so yeah, he's going to be going into Ultras pretty quickly. I think Cenderze is probably going to need to cut the Defilers from their unit comp, or at least wait until they can actually get more bases to do that. Okay, Command Center finally lands to add the Comsat Station. That's the name of it. Let's see. Oh, is that... Nope, that's just a rally drone. Scourge come out. That will be useful. Okay, so Cenderze isn't going for any Mutalisk pressure. They're just getting the Spire to say, I want to have Scourge. And that's what I want. So, yeah. Forcing Dragonzord to kind of make turrets. He did scan for a second. I'm not sure where exactly, but that's a lot of Scourge. Fortunately, there are no starport units from Dragonzord yet. A single Scourge. Oh, he's just preparing. He's gonna say, you know, I don't want to be just safe in case there's a dropship that comes out at this angle. But there isn't a dropship coming out at this angle. There are Marine Medic coming out at this angle. Luckily, there's 4 sunken colonies, so Cenderze should be pretty safe. No, the Hive is finished, but there's no Hive tech on the way, unless I missed him upgrading adrenal glands. Oh, scan goes down in the main, so he sees the Spire and 4 sunken colonies. So this force probably isn't enough to push it. Oh man, the supplies are 33 to 57, and only 5 of that supply is in army. There's 1 in Zerglings, and there's probably a couple Scourge flying around the map. Oh, okay, here's the big tech creation from Cenderze. An Ultralisk Cavern, adrenal glands, and his upgrades are kicking in. There's a 5th sunken going down, just to buy enough time to get up there. But yeah, these hatcheries really need to be in a different main. Fortunately, 2-base Zerg does not fare well against 2-base Terran. And again, I don't know if Dragonzord has been scanning in the main base. I feel like if he saw that he's like skipped the Hive tech and there's just Ultralisks on the way, I feel a lot more comfortable being a little bit more aggressive. Maybe not pushing out into the sunken colonies, but having his Marines kind of position forward and getting to his own tech. But he's getting his siege tanks that he's got in Game 2. He's getting his starport out. 2-base Crazy Zerg with no mutas. This isn't your average, ordinary, everyday Ogre Zerg gamer. This is advanced Ogre Zerg gamer. Oh, Zerglings get in to get the scout, but I don't think they see anything too crazy. The starport is on its way, so science vessels will be coming soon. And this is what Cenderze did in Game 2, and I'm not sure I'm here for it. Like, they haven't even made any Ultralisks yet, and they're already, like, they have both their Ultralisk upgrades, and they're just like, okay, Defiler time. It just is a very odd strategy. It's like they have all the building blocks and all the upgrades they need for their army. They just don't have the army. So especially, I mean, you bring the siege tank out, you start sieging on the sunken colonies. There isn't really a force here to deflect that. Faster Ultralisk movement and Consume are both on the way, but but there's no Ultralisks and there's no Defilers. I mean, Dragonzord is playing very passively, so Cenderze has the room to make an expansion, like you're saying, but they're just not. Finally, 4 Ultralisks are on the way, so that at least is something. 5 Ultralisks. A lot of Zerglings kind of get donated for free. And here's the drop. See if, only 3 Marines in there. Oh, and the Scourge are coming right for it, so this dropship's days are numbered. Oh, he sees the Scourge following him. And the Marines kill 1, which is enough to make it so that the dropship can't be killed by the Scourge. Oh, going right to the 3rd base. Yeah, this 3rd base, the completely unconnected 3rd base, maybe the disconnect plus BBS mind games were effective. Honestly, I mean, that's what we're seeing here. Oh, a really actually terrible engagement by Dragonzord. His Marines are all caught out on the middle of the map. It's these extremely upgraded Ultralisks. Again, this is actually looking a lot more like Game 1 than Game 2, where Cenderze just said, you know what, you don't seem like you're being very aggressive, so I'm just going to tech up, and then all my Ultras will be 4-1, attacking your 1-1 Marines. Whereas in Game 2, Dragonzord actually pushed out and defended. And because Cenderze had gone into lurk, oh man, these Marines survived a lot longer than I thought. Oh, the drones are now down into 25, so Cenderze's economy has been absolutely decimated. And but the supplies are catching up, so that means that the Zerg army supply is actually very equivalent to the Terran army supply, which is usually pretty bad. A lot of roaming Zerg Ultralisks on the map. And we have Science Vessels with Irradiate, who probably need to be poking out and, oh, this is a, don't do this, Cenderze. Oh! He gets a Science Vessel, though. Maybe not worth it to trade a Ultralisk and your 2 Scourge for a Science Vessel, but it's better than the Science Vessel getting a... Well, that's just unfortunate. Must suck to be that guy. Yep, and so the Irradiated Ultralisk practices social distancing and moves away from his friends, or doesn't. That's rough. Bunch of reinforcement Zerglings coming up to, again, keep Dragonzord in their base. And this is kind of, again, we're seeing a replay of Game 1 now, where Cenderze is keeping Dragonzord in their base, whereas Game 2, Dragonzord was keeping Cenderze in their base, and Cenderze couldn't get out and get their 4th and 5th bases. Now Cenderze is saying, you know what? I have my 3rd gas now. I'm getting my 4th. I played really technologically greedy, and they weren't punished for it. So now the game that probably should have been pretty one-sided for Dragonzord is looking kind of even-ish. The Science Vessels need to get good connections, and the Siege Tanks maybe need to get some decent splash damage on those Zerglings. But, yeah, it's like there's an opportunity for Cenderze to actually kind of keep Dragonzord in their base. Even though Dragonzord, I feel like they have the army to be able to push out. It's not a lot of Ultralisks, and if you just like poke out with the Science Vessels, irradiate a couple, keep them away from Scourge, you're in a good position. A lot of Zerglings get donated. Oh, unfortunate. SCV moves out. Looks like they might just be going for a scout. Ooh, dropship is gonna probably find this 4th base and kill it. While siege tanks are trying to move up, some are defensive. Yeah. Oh no, he doesn't. Oh no. He was not looking at the the SCV's going to build the 3rd. He didn't catch the dropship running by the 4th. He's instead going to go for a doom drop in the main, but there's 2 Scourge there. Are these Scourge smarter than game 2 Scourge? Are they highly trained? No, he's running back. He's like, wait a minute, there's 2 bases that were undefended. I'm going to stop predicting what the players are thinking. There's a lot of tech here that is undefined. He's going to dive on the Defiler Den. And he should get it. The couple Marines get backed up, but the Defiler Den should get taken out. No, focus it down. Please, Dragonzord. No! No! That was not a sick drop. Let's see, it looks like Dragonzord is winning the battle in the middle of the map, though. There's a lot of really wounded Ultralisks and still a very healthy Bioforce pushing across. Yeah, he just really need to maybe drop into the natural first, or just focus down the Defiler Den. Again, it's a case of sometimes you over-micro and you see the Ultralisks and you're like, okay, I'm going to just try and keep the Marines alive a little bit longer. Oh, SCV gets taken out by the Scourge. The army's just slightly too spread thin. Siege tanks aren't in position. The Ultralisks are actually going to clear everything. Oh no. It's a lot of wounded, not even a lot of wounded Ultras. That's 1 wounded Ultralisk and his 4 healthy brothers. And the trickle in reinforcements are going to get completely taken out. Even the Defiler isn't going to take it out. The Defiler is going to overextend and get picked off, but I mean, when your Ultralisks are this beefy. Yeah, oh, Dragonzord only has 1-2 upgrades. What are we looking at? We're looking at 4-2 Ultralisks. This is a rough game. Dragonzord really needs to expand to his 3rd base. He can't keep pushing. He needs to get into a defensive stance now. Because now, oh man, that's just a lot of Ultralisks that are going to run over these Marines. Really unfortunate game. Is there any Nidus/static D? There are no static defenses. SCV is preventing the 5th. Yeah. So it's really unfortunate because that drop as it flew over could have come back and killed these 2 bases, probably. Or at least killed the 4th. Now again, the sort of SimCity here kind of keeps the Ultralisks from having good pathing into this attack, which makes attacking in very hard, and Cenderze doesn't really have any Defilers to Dark Swarm the area, so unfortunately 4 Marines will not be enough to kill this hatchery. I'd love to see more dropships come out, because the dropship play really hampered Cenderze in game 2, but yeah. Cenderze's finally getting the economy that they need for the tech that they have, and it's really showing. Like, that is a lot of Ultralisks. Yeah. I mean, honestly, once you get to a certain point, it's just, okay, I have a lot of resources. What if I just built a hatchery at every expansion? What can the Terran do, really? However, Cenderze hasn't built any Defilers. They're getting Mutalisks, which is a bit of an odd choice, but hey, Cenderze's styling on him, getting his own 4th base. Okay, now a lot of these Ultras are very low on health, so once they attack in, they should die at least quicker than some. Okay, Dragonzord's finally going to try and take their third. Radiate goes down on the Ultralisk, kind of scares the AI away from the base. Cenderze has to tell them, no, you are killing, you're violent killing machines, please. Do your job, and the flanking Ultras come in. They do die fairly quickly. D-Matrix on the Marine. He is not going to die. Oh, no, he is going to die. So Dragonzord will get their third base up, but again, it's Terran 3 bases to a Zerg 5 base. Expansion's mined out, but it's technically, I guess, 4 potential mining bases. I don't know where. He needs to transfer these drones over to get it fully operational. And here's the Defiler, finally, the MVP of the Zerg. Can we check upgrades? Ultralisks are at 5-2, 3-2. Where are the Marines? Marines are at 1-3, and the tanks are at 0-0. So, yeah, Marines are very easy to kill. Well, we wanted to see more dropship play, and we saw it. There's the Dark Swarm. Oh, the Defiler actually gets under it with just barely enough health to live. Gets taken out, I guess, from splash damage, but that's going to cause the third base to completely fall down. Dragonzord isn't retreating, so a lot of these army units are going to die. And Dragonzord's supply plummets. His second armor upgrade is just about finished. These Zerglings are just going to prevent... Oh, man. Okay, the Dark Swarm finally wears off, so the Marines can kind of come here and clean up, but the Ultralisk reinforcements... Yeah, this is... fortunately, this is looking like it's going to be GG here. Army of Cenderze just completely slaughtered the forces that Dragonzord had. Dragonzord can kind of trickle out more units, but there's the GG and the Grats. And Cenderze takes the game 3-2. Unfortunately, the disconnect strats did not pay off in the end, even though it did look like they were going to. It is going to be our first match of the RSL round of 16. So we'll go ahead and put up the lobby for our second match. That was Cenderze versus Dragonzord. Cenderze advances, so congrats to Cenderze. They were pretty close games, honestly.